wine?
No, I'm good.
Okay. I forgot to ask that. I think I forgot to ask Vanessa that too. That time.
Here I am. Look at me. What's that? 111.
I have no clue what these beats are, but I'm rock with it.
What's it? At hashtag.
Add highlights and add followers.
That never worked for me.
Let me see. It's got, yeah. Eddie. Hello, and welcome in. Please share with your people. I'm gonna put some more people in the chat, I think, if it'll let me. I should have played the music for no. Hello. What up, BFF? Please share. Oh, that lighting is good on that skin. Yeah, buddy. You see my little dimple? Anybody looking? I got it. There's a little dimple in there. Listen, they might be. I always say that I wanted some dimples, and as I get older, they're showing up a little bit.
They can't see if you're bigger.
No, they're right there. Look, they're right there. No judgment, Sean. Please share. Hey, please share. I ain't mean to do it on the beat, but you know I'm always on the beat. That's it. All right. Let me take me a sip of water. We still early, yo. It might be because of the connection. Vanessa, I'm not entirely sure.
When you're making a jingle, you can't rush.
Now I gotta pick up the guitar. Don't get nice. Tastes real nice.
That was terrible. One of the things we'll be talking about, probably.
What's going on, sis? I ain't gonna read all this. Oh, this would have been good to have before, because on this platform, it's kind of like Zoom. It would have allowed me to post it so that people can see it. Yeah, so the next time, because you'll be back. So the next time, yeah, definitely. If you send stuff like this in advance, I can put it up here like they can't see it on their side, but like I can go ahead and I can add it. You see how they give me the different screen options?
Yeah.
So I can go in there, I can add it, and I can split the screen on one side to show it, and then the other side, yeah. And then I can even, let's say for instance, you didn't live right across the street, and you live wherever. I can bring you in, and I can chat with you on the back side, but they would never know, to keep you up to speed. So that's the cool part about this Amazon $20. So it's really inexpensive. Yeah, I think you should do it. I always encourage you.
Interview myself in that journey of becoming.
So it'll allow you to do that too. Like it'll allow you to record it, so then you can go back and It lets you do all of that. So yeah, so I definitely would definitely say do that. What's going on, bro? Okay, y'all give me a quick second. I'm about to cut the music down in a second because it won't let me do both at the same time. I'm working on it. All right. So I am going. Please share on your timelines if you guys don't mind. Please. Oh, I see y'all. I see 3 shares already. I definitely appreciate you. Appreciate that. Now I'm going in and I'm tagging people too. So people that I know gonna be watching, or should be watching.
Everybody should be watching.
Everybody should be watching. We got some great information for y'all. Yes, can y'all hear? I did put this stuff over the speaker. Can y'all hear me good? What's up, bro? Hey, niece.
Niece in here again?
She in here. She said she gonna be here. Appreciate you, niece. Who else? I can't. I promise. I always get when it's time to share. My mind always go blank. I'm sharing with some other people right now, y'all. I'll be on in a second. The more and more I talk, the more I realize I'm really, really country.
You didn't know that?
I mean, I knew it, but I'm really, really country, and I didn't know I was that country. I'll say that. You let my family back home tell it. Oh, you moved up there to Raleigh and Clayton area. You too good down here. You don't speak like us no more. I'm like, it's gonna always be in me. Who else am I? Share with my Aunt Jean. I'm almost done, y'all. Give me a second, quick second. Don't you go nowhere.
Don't rush us.
Don't you go nowhere. We in for a good treat. Can y'all hear us well? I do want to make sure that. Thank you, niece. Yes, please share. Let me know when Shanique will pop in. I promise you I drew a blank. Okay, so let's put my peoples in here.
I wonder if I can put my business
You can tag it in your you can tag it in your in the comment section. Because that's what I was looking for actually. Because I know you have a business page.
It's a new young.
But
On Facebook.
but the way I looked it up, see, I'm right here. It ain't popping up. Because I was trying to tag it in the original post.
Did you put at a new young?
Not that time because let me see. I think I'm following it.
Yeah, it's right there.
Oh. Because see, you got to space everything out instead of we almost there, y'all. Hey, what's going on? Thank you, niece. I appreciate you. I am still tagging people, y'all. Give me one quick second. Darn. I promise you I can't think of everybody at this moment. As soon as we get into everything, I'm gonna think about it again. Okay. If I have omitted your name, please forgive me in advance. That's what we're going with. If I have omitted your name, please forgive me in advance. All right, make sure your volume turned down, bro, because it will in fact give feedback. Okay, so we've kept you waiting long enough. So without further ado, we will definitely get started. So you keep doing what you're doing. I got you. Because I'm gonna do the introduction of PM LLC. So welcome to another episode here with Checking In with Pam LLC. You are looking at your host, your CEO of Passionately Aiming and Manifesting LLC. This podcast was in fact inspired by my mom. May she continue to rest in peace. I created this platform more specifically to thank you so much, niece. I created this platform because I feel that a lot of time we as Black people, especially, we really don't provide enough focus on our mental health or just, tackling everyday to day life. Like, I think a lot of us, and I'm not trying to put us in a box, so please understand, I'm not putting us in a box. I'm just saying that a lot of time mental health has been a taboo subject when it comes to Black people or people of color. So I definitely wanted to create this platform for that. Without further ado, I would definitely like to say that tonight we're going to be talking about the physical health. So we had an opportunity to talk last week a lot about the spiritual health. And I'm sure there was a lot of questions that we talked about on last week that may even still be lingering around. So we definitely will touch on some of those things while he's still tagging and things. I'll continue to kind of chat with you as well. Last week, we had an opportunity to connect with Divine Magic 223. And I would just say that, she came through and she blessed us. She really, really did bless us with a lot of great information, especially for those of us that, were a little unknowledgeable of what Reiki is and different types of other spiritual type of things that maybe we have never heard of. Yes, thank you, sister. Yes, my sister said yes. So we definitely, appreciate her for coming through and blessing us with that knowledge. We didn't say this on last week, but we will say it this week. This is actually her better half. So this is actually her fiance. So you guys are getting a 2-for-1. Yes, thank you, Vanessa. Her name is Vanessa, but she professionally she goes by Divine Magic 223. So yes, this is her better half. To my left, in a few seconds, I'm going to allow him to introduce himself, and then I want him to kind of share with us what he does business wise, and then we'll dive a little bit deeper in terms of some questions. So. Without further ado, she said, Master Reiki. My niece came in and said, Master Reiki. Hello, brother.
Hello, niece.
Yes. All right, brother. I'm gonna let you go and share with us your name. Share with us, who you go by professionally, and a little bit about your business. And yeah.
Well, hello, fellow people. I'm James Spivey. A lot of you may know me as King James. I am a Reiki master, a massage therapist, a chef. A inspiring life coach. I have many hats, too many to name.
You see the hat, the crown,
King himself. But yeah, I'm a licensed massage therapist. I've been doing massage therapy for 14 years now. I've been chefing for about as long. I do Reiki massage, trauma massage, which is somatic release, which we'll be talking about, energy work, couples counseling, or couples massage, divine feminine and masculine energy session with my beautiful fiance, inner child healing. I do a lot.
Listen, I was just sitting here. I was like, as y'all can see, it's raking up. Yes. Keep going.
I'm in the process of writing 3 books. One is pretty much almost done. I have classes. I do a lot, Jarvis.
Listen,
thinking about it.
That's what it's supposed to be. You're supposed to be busy. Anytime you get comfortable, then that means that you aren't, growing.
Right.
That means you aren't expanding. So yeah, absolutely. Okay. So he has had the opportunity to kind of share with you some of the things that he does. And I promise you, the list continues. But these are some of the things that, he's decided to talk about tonight. But as you can see, he's an inspiring artist, as well as, he's also in, what did you say?
Author,
inspiring author,
life coach,
and
life coach.
aspiring life coach. So yeah,
me and Jarvis are actually in the process of getting together a
men's group. Yep,
because we understood the importance of mental health
Correct.
for Black men,
correct.
or all men. So, but.
Correct. And so I'm glad that you said that because we can start there. But before we start, I do want to take this opportunity. And my aunt is probably not up here. Some of my cousins are probably not up here, but I want to take this opportunity to give my grandmother a huge shout out. Today is her 92nd birthday. Her 92nd birthday, y'all. And I'm ecstatic because she's actually my last grandparent living. So she's my mom's mom, and again, she's 92, and
That's
you know,
a lot of wisdom.
a lot of wisdom. And you know, I got to give a huge shout out to my aunt as well. Thank you, brother. Thank y'all. Yes, please spam the comments saying happy birthday to my grandmother. And I also have to give a huge shout out to my aunt. She is, you know, also a matriarch in the family. And she's been taking care of my grandmother for almost 5 years nonstop. So I definitely would say, you know, definitely proud of my family, and huge salute to my grandma. Again, 92 years old. And that lady, you know, if she could, she would still run a marathon because she's built for it tough, for sure. She's definitely built for it tough. She does have a few health ailments now. But honestly speaking, up until she was 87, that lady, she was still outside doing yard work and everything. But she had some unfortunate strokes that happened at the age of 87, and that kind of, you know, slowed her down. But anyway, so definitely want to give a huge shout out to her. Now back to what you were saying. Yes, James and I are definitely putting together a men's group because we've noticed that, you know, that's not something that you see often. And if you do, it may not go for an extended period of time. So our hope is that once we create the men's group, that it will, in fact, you know, transcend even beyond what we are, you know, imagining it to be. Honestly speaking, I hope that we don't even have a specific number. I hope it, you know, supersedes the number that we can think of.
I actually came to use like I don't know when this was, but I was like, I wanted to be as big as the women empowerment event.
Yeah, I think that would be dope too, because now that you say that, I don't know that we're not in North Carolina. I can't recall, other than like the gospel group Men in Black, the 100 Men in Black, I think is what it's called. But that's like I ain't gonna say gospel, but they're like a singing group. But outside of that, I don't recall.
I haven't seen one.
If y'all know of any men's group in North Carolina or other areas, please spam the comments and let us know, because, you know, knowledge is power. And so we definitely like to learn new things and, you know, connect with other people, because who knows, you know, if we connect with them and, you know, we expand this thing, you know, because again, I definitely don't think that men in general do enough talking about mental health.
No.
What say y'all? Do y'all think that, you know, and again, this is not bashing us as men. This is just simply saying that, you know, depending on where you grew up, depending on, you know, how you grew up, whether you was raised predominantly by women or whatever the case may be, you may or may not have had the opportunity to really, really tap into that healing of men, or just talking about, you know, what it takes to be a man or what have you. We actually have an interesting topic.
Because I know one of the things that we had talked about in our group, because we've done this before as far as the men group.
Right.
It didn't work out too well because we was in the middle, and we had some young ones in there.
Really young.
And then we had some older ones, and me and Jarvis was both in the middle, and we saw this dynamic between the two of them. We saw a lot of hurt and pain on both sides, and a lot of attacking the other ones. So, and granted, I know I'll share with Jarvis and I'll share with you. I didn't have a lot of male friends growing up, and the purpose of creating the group was to create a brotherhood. I didn't go to college. I mean, I'm not sure how many people didn't go, But I know one of the aspects that I wanted was to have that fraternity, that brotherhood, and that was the purpose of trying to create that group. That way we can have a brotherhood of just men who, because I noticed that a lot of men suffer in silence. We don't talk about our emotions,
I agree with
we don't
that.
talk about our feelings, and I feel like a lot of times what happens is, growing up, you get that toxic masculinity.
Toxic masculinity.
Like, men don't cry, they don't show their emotions, and
Right.
what happens is
Right.
you have these,
or you little,
and
you know
then
the
you
rest.
have these men or these little boys growing up, the men not being able to express their emotions, and then they get in a relationship with a woman, and it's like, well, he don't open up, he doesn't communicate, he never had the environment to nurture those skills.
Right. And I definitely think that it could be a few reasons why men may not open up. We won't go too far. Yeah, we won't go too far into it at this point. But
we'll
I
talk
do
about it in the group.
Yes, we would definitely talk about it in the group. But I definitely want to piggyback off of what you're saying. I could definitely remember, being younger. I don't recall my mom ever saying it to me, but I do remember hearing, aunts or other family members always telling us younger boys, hey, stop the crying because boys don't cry, or whatever the case may be. And now as an adult, I'm like, and maybe it's generational, so I'm not trying to bash nobody. It's probably generational, but I would definitely say that I think a lot of time when you do that, and so this is a learning moment for all of us. When you tell your young boy, hey, boys don't cry, you are literally silencing them and you don't even know it. So much so that as they continue to grow up, they, like you said, get to a place where they feel like they have to bottle it up, and then that's when you get the spazzing out. That's when you get the cursing out. That's when you get them not really knowing how to properly channel their emotions, anger, or any of that. So honestly, that is actually a good segue into some of the things that we're going to talk about on today. Good. All right. So again, last week we had the opportunity to really talk about some of that spiritual internal work, and this year is still spiritual internal work, but it's more on like the physical, some of the things that you can do physically, to kind of help that inner spiritual being, that inner peace. It's a way you do it. So I get it as a father. Right. It's exactly, especially a father raising a son. Yes, it's a way to do it. Like, yes, you can, attend to your child, your boy, your son, and kind of let them know, hey, let's talk about it. Talk through what it is. Like, hey, you're crying. What's wrong? Yeah. Let's talk about it.
Giving him a safe space to be seen and heard. Right. I feel like a lot of adults, when you see adults act out, there's an inner child within them that's acting out. That's that unhealed version, which we'll talk about later on. Yeah, absolutely. So without further ado, you've had the opportunity to really share with us quite a few things that you do in your business. I'm not going to tell them just yet how I ended up meeting you, but I'm gonna, we're gonna navigate, the space and really tap into a lot of your knowledge, your wisdom, and then I'll let them know how I ended up meeting you towards the end, actually. So stay tuned, don't go nowhere. All right. So with that being said, I learned last week, or we as a collective learned last week about Reiki. We learned about Reiki level 1 and level 2, and we learned that from your fiance. Thank you, Vanessa.
Yes. So definitely, Divine Magic 223. Definitely appreciate you. So now, what I want to know is, can you expand on what she's already shared in terms of advanced Reiki and Reiki Master? Can you give us more context on what that is?
Yes. So Reiki level 1 just opens you up to the energy itself.
Okay.
We all have the.
This is water, y'all. Water. It is.
We all have the innate ability to have that energy flow through us. Again, the breaking up the word Reiki. Ray is universal wisdom, and Ki is just energy, life force. So you're just basically using the the universal life force that's already around us. Everything around us has some form of energy in it. It's just like this table is.
Mhm.
It has energy and it's just constructed to be a table. So level 1 allows you to just connect with that energy.
Mhm.
Level 2 allows you to start using the attunements that's done in level 1
Mhm.
so that you can start using it. So for instance, I can send Reiki long distance.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I can be at the house and send you energy work.
Okay.
And then level 3
And
allows
would I have to know that you're sending that to me?
yeah.
Okay. So it had to be kind of like a.
It can be both. Like you could just be in the house, just relaxing, chilling,
Mhm.
and just know, okay, hey, he's gonna do some work on me, and I can just send it to you.
Okay.
Or you can send it to the future. Like if you know you're about to go take a test, you can send energy to that moment. Or you can send,
That's good to know.
or you can put energy into your food. You can do Reiki over your food.
Okay. Yes, Vanessa or Divine Magic.
You
said
can
that.
do Reiki over pets. Level 3 allows you to teach and attune students.
Okay. So level 3 is teaching and attune students.
Yes.
Is that also considered advanced Reiki too?
Yes. So
Okay.
a level 3 is advanced.
Okay.
But level 3 allows you to be the teacher. And,
Oh, okay. Okay.
Reiki masters are not just healers; they're teachers. They're guides.
Got you. Okay. Okay. All right. So with that being said, is there like a licensing process that can happen to become a Reiki master? Like, can you be licensed as a Reiki master?
Licensed to will.
To be a Reiki master?
Yes. Once you become a Reiki master, you're licensed to do. You're licensed to teach. Level 1 and 2, you'll get a certificate and say, "Hey, I do level 1 and 2,"
okay.
but you can't teach. Once you become a Reiki level 3, which is the Reiki master, you'll have a license that says, "I'm licensed to teach this to other people." That way you can attune. So once if like someone's interested in becoming a Reiki master, they'll have to take levels 1 and 2.
Mhm.
Once you take level 1 and 2, you can take level 3 to become a master. Then you can have your own classes.
Okay, do you hear that? I know my niece. My niece was saying that she was possibly thinking in terms of doing that. So did you guys hear that? I asked that question because I wanted to know what the process is. I'm gonna come to you guys. I don't think I want to do it at this moment because there's a few other things that I want to do, but we'll talk about that a little bit later.
Oddly enough, most of the times when I do my massages, it just comes out.
Mm-hmm.
I have a service where it's called Reiki Swedish, where you can get Reiki and massage at the same time, and then I'll just offer Reiki by itself. But a lot of times, most clients just get Reiki throughout the sessions.
Okay.
And it's more of it's allowing me, it's not technically Reiki per se in the sense of me doing it, but it's more of me using my intuition, which guides me to hear the body.
Okay.
So,
no, that's good. Because we definitely want to talk about that later on as well. Okay. So for those of you that are tuning in, because I do see some people are tuning in. For those of you that are tuning in, we're currently talking about Reiki master. He is in fact a Reiki master. And so I was just asking questions in terms of how do you become licensed. And he was basically saying that once you surpass the level of 1 and 2, yep, and then you do 3, you could become licensed Reiki master. So I also want to ask, you said earlier about inner child healing.
yes.
Can you share with me what is considered to be inner child healing?
Inner child healing for me,
Okay.
because I can only speak from my
Okay.
perspective and what I offer my clients. Inner child healing is basically like we were discussing earlier, as far as like the breaking the generational curses and being raised a certain way. Inner child healing is basically going back as the adult and being the parent of yourself and going back and rescuing your inner child and doing the inner work to allow those emotions that were suppressed to come out and heal and have a safe space. I feel like every person that may be watching or that will watch
Mhm.
has a version of their inner child that's living within them
Mhm.
that has some form of trauma.
Mhm.
Inner child healing is allowing yourself to express and create an environment so that that child feels safe. The
Mhm.
best thing I can express to a lot of my clients is if you have a child, especially like moms and dads, you wouldn't let a person just disrespect your child.
Right.
And I think a lot of moms and dads that will be watching, I feel like if someone slapped their child or was making their child cry, whatever the case, you'll see a lot of mama bears and papa bears pull out.
Yeah, I almost went through the screen right there. I got mad, and
Right.
I don't even have kids yet.
Right. So that same tenacity that you have for your child, you should have that same tenacity for your own inner self.
Mhm.
That is your inner child, and inner child healing is just basically allowing that child that space to heal.
Okay, and I'm glad that you expounded on that and you touched on that because I have some knowledge as it pertains to inner child, healing. We refer to it a little bit different. With For those of you that don't know, I have my master's in mental health counseling, so we refer to it a little bit different, but we do the trauma work, like you said. We do make sure that we assist our clients in going back, seeing what it is that may have happened, so that we can work on healing that version of yourself, so that you can then move forward.
Yeah.
So this right here sounds like it's like an extension of that, is
Yeah.
what it sounds like to me.
Because a lot of the traumas that you're probably going through now
Mhm.
are part of just reoccurring moments that happened in the past.
Right. Triggers.
Tr-
So for
Triggers.
those of you that are familiar with that word, triggers, like this, we kind of talked about this a little bit last week. So if something has happened, rather than you compartmentalize and put it in the back of your head, try your hardest to do any and everything that you can to work and address those things, because if not, at any given moment, a trigger can happen, and it's going to put you directly back into that same exact spot. Which is why we're talking about inner child healing. You want to definitely make sure that you're taking the opportunity to really, really focus on that. We did have a question from two questions. So the very first question is, how has your life changed since you've become a Reiki master?
That sounds like a question from Vanessa.
It was.
How has my life changed since becoming a Reiki master? My life has completely changed since becoming a Reiki master. I'm a lot more in tune with not only myself, which also prompted the whole self-love, self-care movement in my business. That's what my business is around. It has impacted me in being more receptive and connected to truly trying to understand the mindset of each individual that I interact with, so that I can. It's allowed me to see not just the person in front of me, but the spirit or the soul that you are, and why you react the way you react. And it got to a point. It's getting to a point where it's causing me to dive a little deeper within myself, but also dive a little deeper into trying to assist and help and guide other people down that path. But also know that I can't do it for them, but assist them through that process.
Okay. And I think that's I was tagging some more people, by the way. I think that's again really, really good, because once you guys hear more about what he does in this business, I think all of this is really going to make more sense. And I've saved it towards the end, because I really think that a lot of people don't really know. So if you are shameless plug, well, actually not a shameless plug, a plug. Can you let them know where you're located? Because I think that's also important, because I know that there's people in here that's in the area. So let them know where you're located.
I'm in Clayton, live in Clayton, but my office is mobile, so I can come to you within this certain mile range,
Radius. Mhm.
But my office is off of Windchime Court, off of Six Forks in Raleigh.
Yep. Yep.
I'm right inside of Color My Spirit Wellness in Raleigh.
Yep. So if you are if you are in the area and you want Reiki work done, if you want inner child healing done, if you want massages that we'll talk about in a little bit, if you want some integrated energy therapy, a host of other services, because he shared quite a few, and so you may have missed it, but again, definitely keep that in mind. So I always, y'all know, I like to make sure that I pay attention, because I don't want you to think that we're in a conversation here and not paying you any mind, because we are, and we thank you for you.
Appreciate your questions.
Yes. Vanessa came in and said, what are some things you can do to help your inner child heal?
What are some things that I've done to help my inner child heal?
Mm-hmm.
Listening.
Okay.
Listening, being actively listening. That's the difference between talking to people
Mm-hmm.
and listening to people. I've tried to make sure that when I interact with people, I'm listening to them, because I'm not only talking to that person,
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking to their inner child.
Right.
And I want to always make sure that when I'm talking to someone, I'm listening to what they're saying,
Mm-hmm.
how they're saying, so that I'm not also offending them
Mm-hmm.
or upsetting them. And if I do trigger them somewhere, I'm able to energetically, I'm able to see
Mm-hmm.
the fact, oh, I'm sorry, did that upset you? What part of what I said upsets you?
Mm-hmm.
So the stuff that I've done in my life for inner child work is allow my inner child to have a day, just a full day of just doing whatever it is that he may want to do. My inner child loves kites. My inner child loves playing in the rain. My inner child loves trains. He loves using his imaginations. He's actually helped me in my business create some of the things that I have in my business today that I help other people with.
Okay. And I definitely think that's good. You know, a lot of us that's on here, if we allow that inner child to really, 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 explore, I think we too would be in different places. Me, myself, sorry neighbors, because they get it. They get it on a daily basis. My neighbors hear my inner child frequently. I just bought myself a new boombox.
Oh, that's
Yeah, you saw that. Yeah, and I got mics that go with it.
Oh
Yeah.
karaoke
So
night?
yeah. So my inner child is inner child. Like I am full in effect, and I even just recently bought myself some. I used to collect. I'm still mad about it, because I just found out that my little cousin that used to stay here, I just found out that all of my car collection that I used to have,
The little ones, the Hot Wheels,
Matchbox. I used to have a lot of cars, and what they did was they, niece, do you remember me bringing those with me when I would come over there and stay with y'all? I don't know if you remember, but I hope you remember. But yeah, I used to really collect them. I'm talking about like buckets upon buckets of cars. But when I was 16, my mama made me give them away, because she was like, "Hey, boy, you too old to be playing with them."
Nah.
And I don't think she knew or understood that, hey, he still needed that. So I said all of that to say that I recently started buying me some more cars. So for people that visit my home, you will eventually start to see them in like some cases or whatever. I'm going to have them all nicely, put up places.
You know what I have in my shopping cart?
What?
I don't know how. I'm about to tell my age. Okay, I'm about to tell my age. Does anyone remember those musical raisins?
The California raisins.
Yeah, the little raisins that had I have those in my shopping cart.
Nice.
If you remember those old fashioned refrigerator magnets, the fruits.
Oh yes, I remember that.
I have those in my shopping cart too.
Oh, my niece says she remembered me coming over there with a car. Yeah, I used to have those cars all the time. But yes, I remember that.
The magnets that look like fruit.
bad.
Oh, you good? The magnets look like fruits. You had like a banana and a
Uh-huh.
strawberry,
The grapes. Yeah.
I have those. I have the raisins, those little raisins that have the instruments, and the little green soldiers.
Oh, I remember those. My cousin had those. I didn't have those, But I got an older cousin that had those, and I remember going over there. He was like, "No, you can't. You can play with these, but you cannot play with these."
That's
You know,
the
they
train
had this.
set. I got all that in my shopping cart.
Yeah, I used to have a train set. I'm not really, not now. I won't say I'm in tune with the train set now, but when I was younger, I absolutely had the train set going around the Christmas tree,
Mm-hmm.
all over. Boy, come get this stuff all over my floor. My mom used to do that all the time. But yeah, okay. So see, my sister said she remember me having them cars too. Yeah, I listen. I had to have at least 2 or more cars with me when I would visit because it was an extension of me.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and don't let them get missing. Don't let them get missing. I am where my car at.
I know exactly which one is.
Yeah, I know the color. I know exactly what it is. It's a convertible, and it's and yeah. Okay. So, I see your comment, niece, but I'm gonna go in and get some clarity, real quick. So Vanessa came back in and said, "What can other people do to heal their inner child? Do you have any tips for other people?"
Yes. So within my business, I have Little James
Okay.
created it. So basically, what happens is as we are becoming an adult, we lose that imagination within
Mhm.
ourselves, and your imagination, for me, well, for him, is built on faith
Mhm.
and trusting the unseen. And just using that creativity. So when I had like boxes, I would get in boxes and then turn into a race car.
Mhm.
So I have a box at the house, and something that people can do at home or in the office is take a box and write down your limitations.
Mhm.
So as a
Mhm.
child, your parents, society, friends are always telling you what you can't do.
Right, what you can and can't do. Yeah.
So this box that Little James created was what he told me was this box serves the purpose of you releasing everything that people told me what I couldn't do.
Mhm.
So on the box is it's called a box of limitations, and every doubt, worry, fear, anxiety, depression, bill, if you want to put it in there.
I'm breaking mine. Put the bills in there.
But anything that someone or yourself told you that you couldn't do, you write it in this box.
Okay.
And what you do is you set your intentions of, I want to release fear. I want to release doubt. I want to release the fact that I'm not good enough or I'm not smart enough or whatever the case may be. You put this in this box, and it serves as a portal or just in his imagination when he created this. It was like a whale.
Mhm.
And in his well, like it goes deep and it goes down, and he doesn't care what happens once it goes in the body as long as it's out of his energy field. So what you can do is you write down all those limitations and you put it in a box and you just forget about it, and then you do the opposite of what you just wrote in there to bring in the opposite feeling of what you want. Or something else that we came up with was everyone loves balloons. My little inner child loves balloons, and a lot of people
until they pop.
Right? But a lot of people I see they're like when someone passes or when they have a birthday,
Like
they
a balloon
release a balloon. So what he came up with was you get a balloon, whatever color you want to. One of the things that I'm gonna start incorporating into that is energy work. So if you're getting a service with me doing energy work, we'll do colored balloons. So Reiki will be red going up to all the colors.
Okay.
That way, if you have a blockage in one of those Reiki portals or one of those Reiki channels, you're releasing that. So let's say you're dealing with like a root chakra issue. I'll get a red balloon. You'll write down. I release the limitations of safety or security.
Okay.
And you let that go into the universe. So something that your inner child could do is I let go of the fear of my mom doing this or my dad doing this or the fact that my dad left or whatever hurt or anger that you're holding on to, release it. Then you have another balloon and I receive or I accept or I attract to me, and then you release another balloon. So one you're releasing in the sense of letting it go, and then one you're releasing to attract it.
Kind of manifestation in the second option.
So
that makes sense.
That's something that people can do
To heal the inner
to
child.
heal the inner child.
I like that. That practice because we also do something in counseling as well, where we might do the empty chair method, where you're basically, anything, any place or whatever that has bothered you, you basically literally put it in the chair. You release whatever your feelings are towards it, whether that's cursing that thing out, whether that's fussing it out, whether that's telling it how sad you are, whatever the case may be. And then once you let it all out, or you could do a letter.
Yeah.
You can do a letter of whatever the issues are that you're trying to release, and then you can burn it.
Yeah.
And so the physical burning of it is you releasing it. So once it's out of sight, it's out of mind kind of thing. And now you can start your healing journey. I actually have a cousin that I assisted with that. She said that she ended up writing an 8-page letter to her mom. Her mom passed, and she wrote a 8-page letter to her mom, and she was basically explaining everything that she needed to explain. I don't know what the context of it was because, of course, that was between her mom, and God.
Right.
So she said she literally released everything that she needed to release. She called me back. She said, Jarvis, I don't know how y'all came up with that. She said, but that was the best thing that I could have ever done, because I had the opportunity to really, literally release it. My niece actually said that I feel like going back in memory, apologizing, accepting, catering, etc. Your inner child. So basically, she's saying that she feels like, she definitely wants to go back and do some things and some work towards her inner child.
One of the things I did also with my inner child, he came to me and said I had to go rescue him from my mother. And so, like the letter that your cousin wrote, in the process of my inner child saying that to me, I had to go back to my mom and have that conversation with her. And in the process of having that conversation, I was able to rescue him and save him from the hurt that she had in her life, that generational curse, because I was able to see, and since I've been able to do Reiki, I was able to see this whole timeline play out to the point where as I'm talking to her, I didn't just see my mother. I saw the energy playing the role of my mother and the hurt that she had and how it was connected. And then I started seeing her. Then I saw my grandmother, her mother, then I saw her mother, and then I saw the hurt.
Generational.
And I was like, this hurt wasn't coming from you. So I'm going to still rescue him from you because of the hurt that you had. But now my offering to you is to help you heal from what I just saw. And I was able to not only heal myself in that moment, but I was also to heal her and open her up to whatever she needed to heal, but also take that a little further to the point where I saw the generational curse in the sense of that trauma that was passed down from generations to healing my mom and my sister's relationship. That was beautiful. That was beautiful.
And I think, a lot of time we as people, we don't really think in terms of how much that's necessary. I tell people all the time, for those that know me and know who my mom was, may she continue to rest in peace. A lot of people used to always see the relationship for what it was, but they didn't know the work that it took. So what you're describing, we ended up doing it, but we did it when I was roughly 18. So it took me going off to college, for both of us to kind of connect in that regard. Because I used to ask, like, Mom, like, I knew I was active as a kid. For those up here that know the child Jarvis, I know I was really, really active. Some would say bad. I don't subscribe to bad. Active, maybe, but I don't subscribe to bad. But let's just say I'm not unfamiliar with the belt. I'm not unfamiliar with getting. Yeah, listen, I'm not. My sister said, "Well, I'm not unfamiliar with any of those things because I was extremely active." But what I can say is, based off of what you just said, I can 1,000% say that I'm glad that we had the opportunity to go back and kind of talk about, well, Mom, why did you beat me in this moment? Because I thought, like I was just being a child rather than like if I was being disrespectful, of course I get it.
Right.
But if I'm just around here yelling, hollering, whatever the case may be, why did you beat me for that? And we were able to kind of discuss, well, hey, honey, unfortunately, that's all I knew. So it was at that moment that I realized, so some of the things was coming from your parents and what your parents did and what their parents did, so forth and so on. And so we were able to really, really put everything out on the table. I always tell everybody, she also created space for me to express myself. And I know a lot of people that I know, even to this day and age, if I ask them, hey, matter of fact, I want to do a poll. Can you guys recall a time where you have been younger and you really, really wanted to tell your mom something, but your mom may have told you, hey, you do what I say, not as I do, or, you don't just do what I say, period.
Stay in a child's place.
Stay in a child's place. How many of you have witnessed that, and what did it make you feel like? How many of you have witnessed that, and what did it make you feel like? And while you guys are answering that, I can say mine was she allowed me to ask any questions that I really wanted to, as long as I understood the time and the place, and that I wasn't inserting myself in adult conversation. But she allowed that space, and I will forever be grateful for that, because I still have people to this day that don't know how to tap into their emotions, don't know how to have a conversation because they didn't have that space. So what do you guys say? What do you guys say? Do you ever remember as a child, stay in a child's place, do as I say, not as I do, any of those types of conversations, but you really wanted to say something, but you couldn't say nothing at that time, but maybe you do now as an adult, but you didn't say it as a kid?
Get off the chest now.
Right. Speak now, forever hold your peace. So again, while you're doing that, we're gonna shift things a little bit as well, because of course I want to keep it going. So I have so much that I prepared. So what I'm gonna do, I think this is important because you talked about something that for me, I can't speak for nobody else. For me, I used to struggle with this. I've always had a great sense of who I was as a person, but Kim came in and said, me, I felt restricted emotionally. See, and that's a good one. When you're a child and you feel like you can't really express yourself, because I've even heard people say, well, you're a child, what you got to be stressed about? Right. I've even told my little cousin, and I realized after I told him that, even though he was 21, he's 22 now. He just had a birthday August 1st. I even told him, well, what do you have to be stressed about? You had a great life. What do you got to be stressed about? Right. Well, the reality is I have not physically lived his life through his perspective. So how can I tell him what he can and can't have experienced? So yeah, that's a great one. That's a great one, Kim. Thank you for sharing that one.
Not only that, the perspective aspect.
Yeah.
Since I've been a Reiki master, I've been able to see different perspectives. And one of the things I offer in my just in wisdom, right, is the elephant method. In the sense of, if you have, let's say you have an object. I want everyone to envision an object in front of them. Granted, it's an elephant, so forget the fact that you know it's an elephant. And let's say Jarvis is on the right side, I'm on the left side, and we can see eye to eye, because now I'll say, Jarvis, what do you see? And he said, I see two legs on this side, maybe two on the other side, an ear and a tail. He and I can be in agreement, but the people on this side was like, well, both y'all freaking wrong, because all I see is two legs and a tail in a butthole. And the other person is saying, well, all y'all are wrong, because all I see is two legs, a trunk, a tail, some eyes. It's all about perspective. So it takes you trying to ask or get to know that person's story, or say, hey, tell me your point of view. Let me understand your world, your view. That way I can better understand this life, or your life, or my life, or because we're all connected. Give me your point of view. Give me your perspective. And once you start asking people on a daily basis, what I do when I go out to people in public, I talk to random people.
Yeah.
Random. Hey, how you doing? How your day going? Oh, just you don't never know what someone else is going through, and
That's
they
right.
may need
That's
to say, "Hey, you look good today." Giving someone what's wrong with giving someone a compliment?
Did you hear that? Somebody, I ain't gonna call your name. You remember that time that person in the store was like, "Oh, I really like your hair color," and I said, "Oh my, your hair color is really nice too, even though their hair look like shit." I told them that. This is an inside joke. I told them that because I felt like they were reflecting what they needed back
Yes, and a lot of people
because
do
their
that.
hair looked like shit.
A lot of people do that. You're either projecting or reflecting.
Yeah, yeah, it was bad. Like it needed lots of touch ups, but in that moment, I felt that that person needed to hear that because obviously they were projecting.
But I'm glad Kim she shared that with us. A
Um,
lot of people have a hard time expressing their emotions.
Right. My sister came in and said, "Thank God for my siblings." So she had older siblings that she was able to go through and share whatever she needed to share. But like I said, sometimes when you don't have that, I was an only child by my mother.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have that, you know, so she was all I had.
Right.
And I'm thankful for that because we were able to kind of talk about stuff. I would even say that I feel like I grew up and was the man of the house, even though I was 9 years old. I was 10 years old. You understand what I'm saying? Because we're not even gonna talk about my dad. That's a whole different show. Not tonight. But it was,
I felt the same way when I was younger too.
Yeah.
My dad died when I was 3. So it was just me, my mom, and my sister. And this may feel weird or sound weird, but I feel like this is part of that healing process. But I feel like a lot of times when there's not a male in the house, the son either becomes the man in the house or the boyfriend.
Mm-hmm. So it feels like that son is being courted.
Yes.
By the mother, not in a nasty way, y'all, but it is almost as if the grooming process kind of transpires and takes place. This is where you now start to see the relationship between the mother and the son really, really blossom. So if there are more than one child or children,
Right.
the other child or children may feel like, well, wait a minute, you giving him special treatment.
And when I do it, I get
punished. Right. I've even heard, you know, some females that there was a son, a brother, and a daughter, a sister, that the daughter was more or less raised to be independent, was raised, you know, to do domestic things, how to kind of do things on their own, whereas the son was not really fully taught to do that.
Right.
It was almost kind of like acceptable, like, oh, well, you don't feel like doing nothing. Okay, and this is just my interpretation. I'm not saying this in all cases. This is just my interpretation of that. Well, I said all of that to say, Vanessa came in and said, yep, I don't recall the actual conversation, but it made me feel less than, like I wasn't that important and like I wasn't seen or heard. Mm-hmm. Right. As that kid, you know, that then develops a whole different, you know, type of way to approach things. Yep. Because as an adult, like he said earlier, as an adult, kind of, you know, feeding off of that inner child healing that needs to take place, that's something that's important, because without that, you know, how are you going to put the pieces together? How are you going to connect the dots? How are you going to now be able to navigate certain situations? Have you ever been, and I'm asking all of y'all, have you ever been in a situation where you're talking to somebody and instantly they're going to, I don't want to hear that. Or like that is instant abrupt, is instant shutdown, is instant, I can't receive that, it's instant, I don't want to hear it, especially if you might be telling the truth about something. And I'll be the first to say, I have been that person. And I think for me, it varies for the situation. But for the most part, if I can sit here and I can honestly say that I can reflect on this, for the most part, for me, it's been I'm willing to hear and receive whatever it is that needs to be shared with me or to me, as long as you are able to receive it as well.
Right.
If you're not able to receive it, then what are we talking about?
I agree.
Yeah. What say y'all? My BFF, what up again? BFF came in and said yes. Would you like to expound on that, or did I kind of hit that on the head? Because if I hit that on the head, then you don't have to expound on it. Say yes, you hit that on the head, so I could know. But yeah, so I would definitely say that. So I said that piece in there that I've always been secure in who I am, but I'm now learning, and so I'm going to give y'all some definitions here because I came prepared. So in preparing for this show, you were talking about masculine and feminine energy.
Yeah.
And so I went and thank you, BFF. See, I hit it on the head. So as I was studying and preparing for this, I said, okay, well, masculine, feminine energy, I know what it means. I know what the definition is, but let me really, really take a deep, deep dive into what that means.
What did you discover?
And so what I discovered was masculine energy is more than a typical macho stereotype, but more associated with strength, protection, and assertiveness. This energy compels us to take responsibility for ourselves while leading others, and this is important, and following when necessary. That part stuck out to me really, really good.
Yep.
Following when necessary.
Yes.
So that means in marriage, it's okay, fellas, it's okay for us to follow our woman's lead in that, and if we need to.
Do you know why?
I'm sure you're gonna tell me. But I want to make sure that they really, really heard that. It's okay to follow your woman's lead. It's okay. It does not make you less than. It does not mean that you are not the head of the household. It don't mean none of that. It just simply means that there's a time where you need to follow the lead of someone else. And that someone else can be your wife. That someone else can be whatever. And this is not to say that you are now becoming a follower. So let's not be shallow. Let's not be shallow thinking. That's just simply saying that, that might be the case. I'm going to also give the definition of feminine, and then we're going to go to what you were just saying. So then I look at feminine energy. And feminine energy is a beautiful, complex, powerful force associated with healing and creativity. It encompasses qualities like nurturing, sensitivity, empathy, receptivity, while at the same time honoring strength, courage, and wisdom. So that's what I got as it pertains to feminine and masculine energy. I'm gonna let you say what you were saying. You said you was gonna tell me why. So
What was the last part that you said for the feminine?
For the masculine or the
The
feminine?
feminine. The last part. She admires what?
That ain't what I said. It encompasses qualities like nurturing, sensitivity, empathy, and receptivity, while at the same time honoring strength, courage, and wisdom.
Which all three of those are within the masculine energy.
Correct.
So it goes in the sense of knowing how to surrender and turn them on and off.
But now I'm glad that you said that, because I think, unfortunately, some people don't understand what that then looks like.
Right.
So that then means that we are born of a woman. Us men are born of a woman. There's no other way to kind of get here. We are born of a woman. Okay? Let's just call it what it is. Okay? With that being said, some of us can tune in, tap into more of the femininity, and that could be for different reasons. That can be, raised predominantly by women.
Mm-hmm.
That can be, maybe you subscribe to that. Again, not knocking. We don't do that here at PAM LLC. Whatever your reasoning is, it doesn't mean that you have to be because you have more femininity than others. And growing up, that used to be the biggest issue for me, because I got all kinds of names called. I'm going to let y'all put the imagination to the test. I've gotten called a lot of things, and a lot of it was by those that should have been protecting me. I'm gonna let that, let that resonate and sizzle in your spirit. Not my mother, but if you go, if you realize, who might be around the mother, or no, let me clear that up. I have gotten called horrible names by an aunt. Let's just call it what it is. And it hurt me to my core because I'm like, well, should you not be protecting me?
Right.
Are you not like an extension of my mother?
Mm-hmm.
Are you not like, and it hurt at that time. But then now I'm at a spot where it's like, oh, okay, well, whatever you say or whatever anybody say, oh, you think I'm not the most masculine dude? Okay, well, that's your perception. That's what you think.
Yeah.
One thing any woman on this page that knows me, one thing they can tell you, no matter what, Jarvis is protective of his people. And whether he looks at you like a little brother, whether he looks at you as a sister, whatever the case may be, Jarvis is 100% protective.
That's very masculine energy, though. So one of the things that I would like to share as far as masculine energy is the masculine energy is giving of love.
Mm-hmm.
And the feminine energy is receiving of love.
Okay.
And so, for instance, for me, I'm more feminine. Vanessa's more masculine.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like a lot of that has to do with how we were raised.
Mm-hmm.
But what I've discovered is in that giving and receiving aspect, and you was talking about, there's nothing wrong with a man following the lead
Mm-hmm.
of a woman. A lot of times where a lot of people don't understand is that in chess, the queen can make moves that the king can't.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
It's very... And
you preaching.
And it's the queen, the woman can make moves that the king can make. He can only move one space at a time.
Mm-hmm.
So his moves have to be more calculated
Mm-hmm.
and focused,
Mm-hmm.
because if he makes the wrong move, end of the game.
And the queen sees all things.
The queen sees she can move
Yeah.
in all positions.
Yeah.
But that's one of the reasons why she's the most important piece in the chessboard.
Yep.
But when it comes to reality, in the sense of society, I feel like a lot of women are in their masculine energy because they have to be, based on how society has. It's not in a woman's nature to be in her masculine energy.
Mm-hmm.
Most women want to be in their
It's a balance.
And
it's like a balance.
If you agree, ladies, please comment. I agree. But most women are not naturally, I would say they're not fit for it, but I feel like they're not, it's not something it doesn't come naturally to them.
Mm-hmm.
But society has forced a lot of women to be in their masculine. So when you get a woman who's in her masculine, most men was like, oh, she's an a-hole, she's B, she's these things.
All horrible things.
All horrible things. But
what's going on, sis?
She was
Kim
raised.
said facts.
She was raised to be.
My sister came in and said she agrees.
She was raised to be a certain way, and then men were raised a certain way. So then, it's
or the lack thereof.
Or the lack thereof.
Yeah.
And then you have a feminine man who will get with a scarred masculine woman. Then she's taking advantage of that scarred feminine man, which then when he gets healed, he may go through the healing process and heal completely, or he'll may turn into a masculine man who's a dick, who's mean, who's vindictive, who's narcissistic, who's turned all of his emotions off because he was hurt or scorned.
Mm-hmm.
So,
or he has not been allowed to express himself. So now every time he goes and he tries to express himself and express what's going on and how he's feeling, and it's instantly turned into him now being, well, now you are a bitch.
Yeah.
Let's call it what it is. Hey, y'all know at Pam LLC, we talk real. He's now a bitch. He's now a sissy. He's too emotional. And it's like, wait a minute.
Why are you complaining?
Right. It's like, well, wait a minute. Did you forget? You said you needed that. You said that you needed somebody that will be vulnerable enough to share with you. Like, I want to be emotionally naked with my woman. I'm not talking about physical. Physical is good. But I'm not talking about, only physical. I want to be able to be emotionally naked with my woman. The same exact way that I'm comfortable enough to come out here, baby, you want some of that dango? You know what I mean? It's the same exact way that I want to be, emotionally naked with her. So therefore, I don't ever have to worry about you now taking what I've said and weaponizing and attacking me with it, and vice versa. Please understand, we not selling. The brothers are not off the hook.
No.
Fellas, you then can't take what the woman has come to you and told you in a vulnerable moment and weaponizing her with that either. You cannot make her feel less than. You cannot make her feel like, oh, well, it was really your fault as to how you ended up in that situation in the first place because of this.
Using her past against her.
Yeah, you can't do that either, because now what's going to happen is the both of you are now creating this toxic space, this toxicity that the both of you are operating in, and either A, y'all are not going to heal from that together, or you will heal from it and then realize that, hey, you know what? This healing journey, this healing train has ended here because I can no longer take this person with me further. Now, that may be a good or a bad thing. I don't know. I can't speak for that. But that goes into emotional intelligence too.
What happens is that energy starts ping-ponging. So she's angry. Now she don't want to hold it. So she spurts it out to you. And then you like, then you angry. And it just, every time it goes back and forth,
it's a cycle.
Person, it intensifies. And then once that intensity gets to a point,
it's a cycle, and that cycle becomes see people not gonna want to have this real conversation, but I'm gonna have it, and you don't have to agree with it. But y'all know me, I'll stand on my own. So there's this ideal of alpha male, beta male, and that's a dynamic that, honestly speaking, people haven't really truly done full research on what that is. Okay. So let's say, for instance, you do get your alpha male. Okay. You get your alpha male. You now can't say nothing to him. You now can't ask him a question without him getting offended. You now can't tell him, hey, I would love to see you at this time without him getting offended. Hey, I would love to do this and the third. But you said you wanted the alpha male. So now what? Now what? Same thing with the alpha and beta females. I want a balance. That's what I want. I want a balanced female. Please be balanced. So therefore, the areas that I need to improve in, you got my back. The areas that you need to improve in, I got your back. And together, guess what? We just become
a team, an
unstoppable team at that point. But if we so busy trying to figure out, like, hey, well, are you gonna be alpha today? Are you gonna be alpha today? Like what? What is that?
Yeah.
What is that? Vanessa agreed as well. So you got 1, 2, 3. You got at least 4 agreements back to back. My sis Tish came in and said, yes, you should be able to be that with your partner and don't be using it as a weapon when you are angry. Absolutely. And please know toxicity grows like a fungus. That's a good one. It grows like a fungus. Get that out of here. Boom. Go. Gotta go. She came back and said, speak on it, bro. Be careful what you ask for. Right. Like, listen, you got to be careful. And then she also came back. Listen, ready.
You got to be ready.
Ready. Because if you're not, she came back and said, heal so you can be balanced. Most forget that part. Listen. I tell people all the time, even the people that you think got their shit together, they might not even have their shit together. But what they can tell you that they have together is that they've taken the time to pour into themselves. They've taken the time to heal. They've taken the time, to increase their self-love, self-care, self-awareness, acceptance. So that goes into emotional intelligence. Now, that's not a part of the paper, but hey, here at FAM LLC, we might, but we'll come back. So a lot of time people don't realize what emotional intelligence is. So emotional intelligence is motivation, and I'm not naming them in any particular order, but it's motivation. Are you motivating self, and can you motivate others? It's also self-awareness. So aware of the areas that you might need to improve in, aware of whatever the case may be. So self-awareness, self-regulation. So being able to regulate your emotions, being able to regulate those emotions. So that's 3. Darn, I shouldn't have did that because now I forgot the other 2. But the point being, these are all, it's 5 of them. I'll make sure I tag it on the post. So be on the lookout. I'm gonna tag it on the post. Yeah, self-regulation and rejuvenation. I don't know about the rejuvenation part, sis. That took my mind else. But help me. You know what? You might be right. It might be. I'm gonna look it up because now that's gonna bother me. But yeah, so the point being, these are things that you must do. What's going on, Spice? Bible study tonight. What's the buzz? So we're talking about healing, and we're traveling down, making sure that we're talking about healing journey, as well as we're talking about the physical things that you can do physically to heal the spiritual, because a lot of time we don't really do that. Okay. Yes, you have to be able to love on you like nobody else. Absolutely. So again, I'm not gonna take too much time from that. I'll post it on the page, so be on the lookout for that. So yeah. So now that we've talked about, you guys have just tuned in on the masculine and the feminine energy. So now that we've talked about that, what type of work do you do in terms of assisting people in the masculine and feminine energy? What do you do?
So I have a 2-part class.
Okay.
You can take either one. One includes the assistance of Divine Magic 223.
Okay.
Where we're both doing it together. So you get divine feminine and divine masculine energy coming from a male perspective.
Okay.
And you having it divine feminine masculine energy coming from a female perspective.
Okay.
And then she and I are both helping you heal those traumas in that class session. So individual or couples.
So is that like a massage that's happening?
No, that is a class. The massage is just me and the couple.
Okay.
And I'm guiding them through massaging each other.
Okay.
So that way you're able to use that divine feminine energy and some Reiki to connect with your partner.
Okay. So y'all hear that? You want to rub up on your boo, get things hot and steamy. But more specifically, helping your partner heal, and then y'all can together
connect.
Heal.
Because what I've discovered, and one of the reasons why I came up with this class and course, is I've had a lot of couples or women and men say, "I wish my partner knew how to do what you do, or I wish my partner touched me the way you touched me," and it just made me think like, well,
she didn't say that to him, did she?
Huh?
She didn't say because he finna be toxic.
No, she said
because he finna be toxic if she said it like that.
She said it to me. I mean, I've had multiple women or multiple men say this about their partner.
Okay.
Because I'll get it. A lot of people want that connection, whether you've been dating for 3 months, whether you've been together 30 years. I feel like that intimacy at some point starts to fade.
Mm-hmm.
And the purpose of the massage class with the couples is to help you reconnect and get back into their love languages of physical touch, quality time. Mm-hmm. Because I've heard a lot of women say, "Well, I've had my husband and my boyfriend massage my back, and he'll massage like this, and then he'll go straight in my ass." And I'm like,
"What's the problem?
What was?"
Did you tell him what's the problem?
No. And I'm like, okay. So what happens after that? She's like, we end up having sex. I'm like, your issues where? She was like, well, that's not what I asked for. I asked him to massage my back. And so what I asked a lot of my male clients in that process is, what is your intentions for massaging your partner? Like, what intentions are you going in? So if she's coming to you with a problem, and going back to the masculine energy aspect, he's problem solving. He's helping fix a problem. If she's coming in with her feminine and say, "Hey, I have a back problem. I need you to address this," and you're going straight to her ass, then you're not solving the problem. You're adding to the problem.
So what if he? Now I'm just playing devil's advocate here. Don't come for me. And if you do, I'm just saying. No, in all seriousness. So my question is, what if he does, do the massage, massage her back, lower back, wherever her trouble area is.
Right.
Well, now he's done that. He's made sure that he spent, for him, I'm just going to say at least 30 minutes. He spent 30 minutes doing exactly what it is that she wants and said that she needed him to do.
Yeah.
Well, now he goes to her ass. Well, what's the problem if they're together? And I mean,
Well, what I've told a lot of my clients, and what a lot of them have shared with me, a lot of women say if you just give her what she's asking for, she'll give you what you're asking for. So most men go into the massage like, I'm gonna do this, and then I'm gonna go to her ass because his mind just goes straight to sex. But what I've told a lot of clients and what a lot of women have shared with me is like, if he gives me that relaxation and massage my back, I'll just give it to him.
okay.
Because she's relaxed. Her back is relaxed. She's good.
So I almost went into Pam, checking in with Pam LC after dark. That's not a real show just yet, but it's coming. It's coming. Because I almost went there. So okay. So I get that, and I think that makes sense.
But the purpose of the class is more for the intimacy.
Okay.
Not whatever you do and learn in the class outside of me teaching you the techniques is on you.
It's on you, right.
So
You just there to get the fundamental
I'm just
basics.
get the fundamental basics.
Okay.
I'm here to help her and him get to a point where they're more here
Reconnect
and they're
into-
not here.
Okay.
Whatever
Okay.
you do after that,
If it leads to that,
that has
then
nothing
it's
to do-
there.
Yeah.
Okay, I can understand that. I think the most important part, in all seriousness, is you basically saying that assisting your Jarvis. You was reading my see. That's what I'm saying. I don't understand the problem. I just don't understand the problem.
But
What's going on, bro?
you also have to have the woman massage the man, and most men have a hard time getting massages by another man or just massage in general. Most men are not very punctual when it comes to taking care of their health. So
True.
it also benefits the woman to massage her man and be able to take the tension off his shoulders. So,
That makes sense because a lot of us do. I ain't speaking for everybody, but a lot of people in general do kind of hold. And correct me if I'm wrong. They do kind of hold a lot of tension anywhere. But a lot of people do hold it in their shoulders too, right?
So what I've discovered in the 14 years of me doing massages is a lot of people that hold tension in their shoulders in the form of one of the services that I offer is integrative therapy.
Okay.
And the shoulders deals with the shoulds. Should have done this, should have did that, should not have done that.
That's
so you're
great.
carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders. So your shoulders deal with the shouldas. But in the sense of just having that shoulder pain, you could be driving a car, you could be at a desk. A lot of that mental, emotional starts to impact your physical. That's one of the reasons why I try to bridge the gap between mental health and physical health, because a lot of the mental that you're going through, the stress, the anxiety, depression, it formulates and manifests itself in the body. And I'm able to see, feel, and hear it. That way we're having, better experiences during your massages.
Okay. All right. So I would definitely say that I know the answer to this, but I'm going to ask. So do you provide, these all services to men and women? So massages, whatever, to men and women.
Yes.
Okay. I know that, y'all, because he's actually my masseuse.
Massage therapy.
Oh, I'm sorry. Massage therapist. There's a difference. Can you share I'm glad you corrected me. What's the difference? Because some of us that may not know that, what's the difference for you?
For me, massage therapist is who I am, what I am. It's what I do. It's not who I am. So let me clarify it. It's what I do.
Okay.
But massage therapist is about holistic healing. A masseuse is what you find in a massage parlor. It's those happy endings. It's those.
Oh,
it's a French
term. I didn't know that.
Yeah, a masseuse is a French term, and that's where you see a lot of massage parlors having masseuses. You don't see a massage therapist in a massage parlor. You probably won't see a masseuse in a spot.
We learned it tonight, y'all. We are definitely learning tonight. So yes. So if me and my girl want to learn how to massage each other, what do we do?
You go on my website and
Okay.
you book a couples massage, and I will bring the table. I'll bring the lotion, and you just come in with an open heart and open mind, and a willingness to reconnect with your partner. And the main purpose of that couples massage is to reconnect you back to each other. I've actually had 2 clients. One's in West Virginia. They drove from West Virginia. This is a 6-hour drive down here to have that couples massage. That review is actually on my Google page, my massage booking page, and I've posted videos of that session. The other one is just a Google review on Google. So if you're interested in seeing that review and how their experience was, you're more than welcome to look at my review page.
Okay, nice. So when or if me or any other couples up here, because the Duffys are in here. So just in case the Duffys are interested in this, hey, you know, he'll show y'all how to do it. Not saying y'all don't know how to do it, but he'll show you how to do it using like some Reiki energy and other types of, you know, tips and things that you can use to really relax the body. And then Jared, me, you on the same page, brother. And then, you know, whatever happens, because he said that whatever happens,
Whatever
therefore
happens
after.
afterwards, it's not on New You Healing.
There you go.
It's on the Duffys.
On the Duffys. So with that being said, so do they book the couples massage for, like, is there a time limit? Is there time constraints?
So the typical class, the class that I had with the couples, originally started out as a couples massage.
Okay.
That class is normally 3 hours.
Oh, okay.
That class with the couples from West Virginia turned into 6, because what happened was Vanessa was in there and she started getting some downloads, and she and I started helping this couple heal. And what I had them do was, I saw that he had a lot of emotional trauma from his childhood, and a lot of that was preventing him from healing or seeing the love that his wife was trying to give him. So he wasn't able to receive the love that he wanted. And he felt like all the stuff that he's worked for was going to be pulled from underneath him. And the fact that I had them back to back having this conversation, I saw the impact of what he was saying had on her. So I had them face. And once they started talking face to face, it was like this wall just came down, and he was able to allow the love that was his wife into him to help him heal the hurt and trauma of what he had experienced in his childhood. So that class transitioned from that moment to the massage, where before they were bumping heads, to now where in the session he's able to hear and feel her body, because they're now locked in to a point where when they came back and saw me, it was like that whole drive home. We talked about the class. We had a lot of healing motion. Stuff started coming up that they had suppressed. There was a lot of conversation that needed to be had that didn't happen until after the session, because they was in a space of allowing the inner child to come up, allowing the feminine masculine energy to come up. It was a very transformational. They left me a review.
Nice. So yeah, y'all definitely check that out. And so where can they see this review at? Where's the actual?
Google, New You Healing on Google. You just type in a New You Healing Google and just go down to my reviews.
And that's a U instead of a Y-O-U, correct?
Yeah, it's the letter U.
Okay.
New You Healing. The letter U, not the word.
Okay.
Or you can go on my booking website, massagebooks.com, and then there's a review page up there. You can look at those reviews as well.
Okay. All right. So y'all hear that? So if you and your boo thing want to go on over there and get you that was country. Go on over there. If you and your boo want to go
on over there.
Look at me trying to change it. If you and your boo would like to go, yes, a New You Healing, yes, that's correct, Tish. So is it? Do they just put everything together? A New You Healing in
No,
Google
all of them
search?
are separate words.
Oh, okay. So all
it's
separate
A
words.
New You Healing.
Okay.
And
And just Google it.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So yeah. So definitely y'all go and book. So yeah, there you go.
But the couple classes, what the last couple that I had, they said don't limit that class to just couples. So I'm gonna start offering that service to friends who want to build that relationship.
Oh, okay.
Mother and son or mother and daughter, so they can build those relationships. Because I feel like couples relationship or couples class shouldn't be limited to intimacy partners or
Right.
husband and wife. It could be any type of relationship where it's friends that want to reconnect. Or
so for clarity purposes, is this the massage class or?
yes.
Okay, so the massage. Okay.
Or the actual class itself.
The learning part.
The
of
learning
it.
part. Yeah.
Okay, not the physical massaging.
Right.
The techniques of learning and so forth.
That'd be a little weird having oh yeah, me and my mom.
Right. That's why I wanted to make sure that everyone listening is understanding that he's saying the class part where you come in and you're learning different knowledge and different things. So he's not specifically talking about the massage. Now you can book a massage, a couple's massage is what he's saying, separate, where he can teach you how to properly, massage one another is what he was saying. Just wanted to make sure.
And that service is offered in office or in home.
Okay.
But I feel like you get a lot. I mean, it depends on the person. Most of the classes I've had has been in office because I have more space to work, and we all have room to do it. But it's optional to the person.
So he told you. He also saying that he does mobile. So there you go. He does mobile services as well. So I'm gonna go back really quickly. Vanessa came in and said, we also offer couple spa days with massage couples. Oh wait, I'm sorry, that's a comma. My contact's a little dry, y'all. Don't y'all talk about it. We also offer couple spa. No, they tied. They tied. The contacts are definitely tied. We also offer couple spa days with massage, and they also offer couples Reiki and sound healing. Okay. And then she also came back and said also ancestry message. I didn't know you did ancestry messages.
I don't.
Oh, she does, but it's together.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Okay. So you massage and she, I see that tag team. That's a great. Okay. Great. Separate services. Okay. All right. So you last but not least, you answered that question already. The integrated energy therapy.
Mm-hmm.
So in my research, because y'all know I like to try my hardest to be prepared. In my research, I see that integrated energy therapy is gentle, non-invasive healing technique that focuses on the releasing of the suppressed emotions and or stress.
Yes.
Can you give us a little more insight on that?
So integrative therapy, IET, is going in. Is a little bit further than Reiki.
Okay.
It goes on deeper into a cellular level, so that you're healing the trauma on a cellular level.
Okay.
And a lot of the emotions that come up from these, the top of the head deals with guilt.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're having like head pains at the top, you're dealing with guilt. Like I said here, the shoulders are your shoulds. You have anger, you have resentment, in your kidneys, lower back. So it goes down the meridian channel. I think we spoke about.
Y'all did on the left. Yep.
The meridian channels are basically just energy channels that energy flows through. These points that I'm holding, and you're fully clothed during this whole session, and I'm just releasing the energy and then infusing more energy into it. So it's like releasing the old and then putting in the new. Mm-hmm. So it's all about hand placement along the back of the client. And it's basically going into each point and healing those traumas. I'll send you a photo or tag it in the chat afterwards of what those points look like.
Okay.
That way people can know what energies, what emotions, what organs are associated with these pains.
So y'all see that? Again, we're talking about the physical things that you can do for your body to promote, the spiritual healing and the overall healing of the body. So that's what we're talking about on today.
Fear is located in your lower back in that aspect.
So if your lower back is hurting frequently, go ahead and release that fear. Go ahead and release that fear. My back is hurting, but it's not the lower back. It's in the middle side, and that's weird because normally mine don't hurt like that. But anyway, so with that being said, I see that you have some other items and stuff here. Would you like to touch on those?
Oh yeah. So in one of the services that I offer, self-love. I'm very big on self-love, self-care. A big part of my business came from the healing process of a death and rebirth of myself. So kind of like a phoenix. In that process, I had been in a previous relationship where I was self-sabotaging myself.
Mm-hmm.
And within that self-sabotage, I started seeing all those demons and scars and wounds and hurts. So I got to a point in my life where when I looked in the mirror, I didn't see me. I saw something else. And that something else was trying to take over my life. And I said no. And it got to a point where I was people pleasing to a point where it was damaging me. And every time I said yes to someone else, I was telling me or little James no.
No.
And I got tired of telling me no. And I wanted to be able to use that throat chakra, which again, as a child, shut up, know a child's place. I wasn't able to vocalize that as a child to speak my truth because every time it was spoken, I was ridiculed about it. So the self-love journey in that process, in that relationship, caused me to go through a switch where I was like, I'm not dealing with this no more. I started setting boundaries. So in the process of me doing that, I started dating myself. And I feel like that's one of the best things. And I share this with a lot of my clients. Dating yourself is the best thing that you could ever do because one, you're teaching you how to love you, but you're also in the process teaching someone else how to love you too. So if you want a certain individual, husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, to love you a certain way, you first have to learn how to love yourself. Because if not, you won't be able to receive the love that you're asking for.
Right.
So a lot of people have this blockage when it comes to loving themselves, or they have this blockage where it comes to someone else loving them because they don't fully love themselves. They don't fully accept themselves or feel like they're worth it. And I didn't have the self-worth or self-value then that I do now have. Granted, that's a part of me that was completely shot. That didn't want to talk in front of the camera, that had a hard time. So in the process of doing that, I dated myself and I got so extreme with it to the point where I was standing outside my car door, open my door, like a gentleman, you open the door, and I was stand there and I would open my door, get in, sit there, close the door, and think to myself, where's he about to take me? Knowing good and well where I was about to take myself.
Right.
And I really dated myself. I took myself on shopping sprees. I took myself on trips. I bought myself clothes. I did everything that I wanted my partner to do for me. And in that process of dating me, I found Vanessa, or she found me, because it was like I was attracting that energy to me because I was realizing my self-worth. So in the process of doing that, I went through another awakening in the sense of, well, who am I? Why am I? And this board is my self-love board. It may look backwards to everybody else.
No, it should show it right the way it looks now.
So this is my self-love board. This is one of the things that I offer in my self-love class. I try to encourage all my clients to eventually get to this point where if someone asks you, who are you? And that's one of the things I ask a lot of my clients. Who are you? And a lot of people can't answer that question. Why?
Mhm.
Because they are looking at titles. They're looking at labels. They're looking at, well, I'm a mom, dad, teacher, whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm asking you, who are you in the sense of who's the energy, who's the essence listening or responding to me talking to you?
Mm-hmm.
Who is that person? And a lot of people will like, well, I don't know. Well, that's the purpose of the class. That's the purpose of creating your own board. This is a vision board. This is a
Mhm,
vision board of me. So when people ask, who are you? I'm love. I'm that essence of loving myself and inspiring that to have that with other people. And getting to a point where, I don't know if you see this, agape,
Yeah.
which is universal love.
Mm-hmm.
And then having that love for yourself. So this one here, philia, is self-love, but agape is
Selfless love.
where you're giving that love to other people. And one of my favorite scriptures in the Bible is love thy neighbor as thyself.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people can't love their neighbors if they don't love themselves.
If they don't love themselves.
So this is the purpose of having one of these boards, so that way when you look and reflect, like, this is me.
Mm-hmm.
And this is how I'm showing up in the world. This is how when you see me, this is how I show up in the world. I'm going to love you even if you're unable to love yourself, because I see your worth. I see your value until you get to that point.
So just to interject really quickly, you guys, when I first started getting my massages through him, the very first session that I had, and I wasn't even aware of what was going to happen. The very first session that I had, he actually showed me the
Mirror technique.
the mirror technique. And when I tell you guys, if you've never done the mirror technique, please start tomorrow. Get you some
Erase markers.
whiteboard erase markers and literally will you explain it?
So the process that I took Jarvis on, because there's multiple ways that Spirit has allowed me to do this. So the way Jarvis is speaking of is it was a 90-minute massage. The first 15 to 30 minutes we spent talking, because I feel like when people come into the office, they need time to decompress. They need time to relax.
Right.
So that time of us talking allows your mind and energy and emotions to just regulate. Then we get into the nitty-gritty of, how do you see yourself? How do you want to see yourself? So what I had him do was, on one side of the mirror, write down how he saw himself,
Mhm.
like how he really saw himself in the sense of that aspect. Then he went through a massage, which was a very loving massage in the sense of the self-love massage.
Mm-hmm.
It was a self massage, because in the sense of how I'm able to do massages now is, there's a version of me in everybody, just like there's a version of everybody in me. And what happens is, there's a version of you helping me. There was a version of you and me helping me heal you.
Right.
And then there's a version of me in you that I was healing.
Mm-hmm.
So in that process of you getting the work done, after the massage, I had him go back to the mirror and write down how he felt about himself. So the first one was how he saw himself.
Mm-hmm.
The next one was how he felt about himself,
Mm-hmm.
which were two different answers. And do you remember what your answers were?
I don't remember all of them, but the one that stands out to me is warrior. I remember
On the side, how you
the right side.
yeah.
So how I felt after the massage.
Yeah.
And I still feel that that's true today. Like, I'm always going to continue to fight. I'm always going to continue to fight for what's right. I'm always going to continue to fight for Black mental health in general, but specifically Black mental health. I'm always going to fight for those things. And that brings me peace and joy, knowing that I'm helping somebody in their journey, because I know that that's what my purpose is.
Mm-hmm. Mine too.
So, yeah. So again,
that mirror work though is some very powerful stuff. And I would say, if you're not prepared to face yourself in the mirror, because you can't run
you can't.
yourself in that mirror.
Sure cannot.
And once you start looking at yourself and you're like, and you start, and stuff starts coming up and you start seeing it, it gets real.
Yeah. So my sister came in and said, I'm learning self-love, learning how to say no. That's very important. Very important. So definitely continue to do that, sis. And so yeah, so I definitely would say, again, there are so many physical things that you can do or get done. So listen, I tell people I haven't been in a while, but I don't mind going to get me a pedicure. I probably need a manicure too, but specifically a pedicure because it's something about the feet work. You know what I mean? For those of you that follow me on Facebook, I've also recently done a bath, which I hadn't done a bath in almost 2 years or more. So I definitely would say exactly. Spice came in and said, I remember you telling me about your first experience with him. You officially made him a monthly bill. Yeah. When you prioritize your overall being, that's important. The same way, we go out and spend the money anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So why not go get you a massage? And I don't care who your massage therapist is. You choose whoever you want your massage therapist to be. You do not have to go with him. I just so happened to have gone with him, and I think for me it was a good decision. I went with him because I was actually going to get sea moss and herbal things from herbalists that we mutually know. And she was like, "Hey, well, have you ever had a massage?" And at that time, I was only 33. So I'm 35 now. Yeah, so at that time, I was 33. I had never had a massage in my life before, outside of the massages that we like to do in the bedroom. I had never had a massage in my life. So, I wasn't accustomed to what that looked like or what that could have been. And so he did it. She was telling me, "Hey, you really should try it." And so I tried it, and she was like, "So how do you feel?" I was like, "I'm coming back. I'm gonna get me another. I'm gonna put him on the rock. I'm gonna make sure that I literally put him like Spice said as a bill. I'm gonna make sure that I show up only because when you find things that works well for you, you don't change it.
It's not just a massage stuff. It's an
True.
experience.
True.
It's a whole self-love experience.
Absolutely. So I definitely would say, listen, if you haven't done this, if you haven't, gotten massages, or if you have gotten massages, but yet you haven't done it in a while, or as he just said, an experience, if you haven't done that, then you should definitely do it. Reintroduce that into your life and things, because again, we're talking about the physical healing so that you can have the spiritual inner healing as well. So again, that works well for me. My girlfriend, she goes and she gets hers, frequently. Not from him. She goes to a different, massage. Well, she actually goes to a parlor, so it's not quite the same. But again, self-care, self-love is what we're ultimately promoting here.
Yes.
Okay. So again, I would definitely say that we're now it's 9:44. I definitely appreciate each and every one of you for joining. I hope that we've said some things that resonate well with you. I hope that we've said some things so that you can now understand, hey, I have to prioritize me. That's the ultimate goal. That's what we talked about in today's session. Prioritize you. If you have not at this time gone on his website or done a Google review or reviewed his Google review, go ahead and book him. Book him.
And if you have watched or looked at those reviews and you're like, I need to book a massage, just go ahead and book it now.
There you go. So go ahead and book your massage. If there's other people up here that do massages, I'm one of those ones. Don't tag yourself in this, because I like, either you can come on the show. I like to promote businesses, but I want you to come on the show so we can have, conversations, so that we can, because every person, while there's a common goal, every person does something different.
Yes.
And so we always, like to make sure that we are educating people in general. Okay. So again, my favorite saying is, we will be black next week, even if we don't necessarily come back next week. I'll never see. I don't know whether we will do a session next week, but I'm gonna let you know. Okay. So if we do, all is well. We might not, but we'll see. So yes. So look at your boo. She came in and she said he's a beast for sure. Y'all talk off the air. Don't be talking in the comment section about your man. So yeah, so I definitely would say again, thank you for you guys always supporting me here at Checking In with Pam LLC. Again, huge shout out to King James here, James Spivey. Definitely appreciate all the knowledge that you've come and you've shared with us. And again, like I said, we will be black next week. Please share this post. And again, make sure that you prioritize yourself. Peace.